Hello. This is a day of gratitude. I'm so excited to be with you because gratitude is just flowing from my heart. I know we just celebrated a day of thankfulness for family, for friends, and being a black person. I know we don't hold that guilt for the holiday that's celebrated, but I do enjoy the moment of being grateful for just being with family and friends. And so I want to jump on here really quickly to share because I think about it often too. I think about how love is misused and how people are giving up on love. So I had to share really quickly because I'm in a moment of gratitude. I try to stay in a moment of gratitude, but I wanted to reinforce the importance of love. I'm Elitia, your biggest cheerleader of healthy relationship culture. I'm also your favorite relationship coach in all things healthy relationships, and I am the co-founder with my husband Cullen of When Love Works, a relationship development and coaching company. And I wanted to jump on here today to share a little bit about me, to be extremely vulnerable with you, to share my why. Because yes, I've been hurt in the past before, and you may have been giving up on love, and you may have thinking like, I don't know, what's the use? So I want to share my story because it's true. Even though I do this work professionally with my husband, and we are your biggest fans for all things healthy relationship culture, I did not feel worthy of love for a long time. I mean, love from everyone, from my family, from my partner at the time, from my friends. I didn't feel worthy for a lot of reasons. So I'm definitely going to share my why I didn't feel like I deserved love, why I was ready to give up on love. And I wanted to share about how I didn't think I deserved love until I met a certain standard. So I had gotten caught in that loop too. I shared this question to start because I hear it often. I think about for the past 20 years now, I hear about people wanting to give up on love. They've been hurt before. Why does it take all that for a relationship to work? And so, again, I just wanted to share because I don't want you to give up. It may seem like hard work, but it's so worth the work. I don't like the word hard at all when it comes to work and relationships, and I'll talk a little bit about that too. But if you are thinking about giving up on love because you've been hurt in the past, you know someone who's stuck on a past relationship, are not really open, even though they're a great person, share this video, tag them in this video, invite them to join in this video, because it's time for us to really look at love in the way it is supposed to be looked at and how it can support us, right? So I hear that question a lot, and my immediate response to it, if you're thinking about giving up on love, I'm like, no, don't do it, because love is the single most transformative element in this world. You hear me? It is truly the most transformative element. Love has the ability to literally shift how you operate with yourself, that inner love, that self-love that people always talk about. We like to use the word inner love versus self-love. But anyway, I won't go off on a tangent. But love is the most transformative element. It can shift how you operate with you. It can shift how you operate with your family. And again, we just came off a holiday where we were with family. And that love is so important because we don't want people to be doormats just for the sake of love, right? So I recognize that love is also transformative in how you operate with your partner. If you are sharing this video or on this video because you have a partner, yay, this is good for you. And if you're sharing this video and you don't have a partner, or you listening to this video and you don't have a partner, listen to this audio even, and you don't have a partner, it's fine. Love is love, because love can actually shift the way you operate with your colleagues and friends too. So keep listening. And like I said, share this video, share it out, because I get that question too often, and I don't want people giving up on love for a couple main reasons. There are two main buckets why people don't bother with love or they give up. I know people express they've been hurt in the past. that comes under another umbrella. And I just wanted to really unpack that get hurt in the past by sharing my stuff, right? So I said at the top that I will share about me because I am your biggest really healthy relationship culture cheerleader. I have some stories to tell. I'll tell you a few because we don't have a full-length movie documentary right now. But if we had the time, my life is a whole movie about some stuff that I could have given up on love, but I did. And that's why I am cheering you on. Don't give up. One of the biggest reasons that this question comes up is because really in the back of people's minds or really subconsciously, a lot of people are thinking, I don't deserve love. Like I said at the top, I was the main one. I didn't think I deserved love from family, friends, partner, and even in the workplace. What does love even look like at work, right? But I would have you know everyone deserves love. Everyone deserves love. One of our foundational quotes at When Love Works is age nor experience disqualifies you from love. No matter how old you are or what you've been through, you are not disqualified from love. Everyone deserves love. And I think about how I had to get to that point, but I wasn't always there. I said at the top of this, I did not think I was deserving of love from anyone. And one of the reasons I got that thought, and again, I'm unpacking the fear, right? I'm unpacking that whole belief of not being hurt again by going deeper into my stuff. That thought started from me very early on, and it may have started from you very early on. So if you have any similarities in anything you hear me share, please leave your comments, your thumbs up, whatever you need to do to let me know you are with me on this journey, right? So it started very early for me because there is literally no early education on what love looks like. There's none. We even do our first episode on our podcast, the When Love Works podcast, is about how there's no education on what love looks like. I'm talking about as early as 6 years old. That's a great time for us to start talking to our children about what healthy love looks like. So a lot of people give up on love and said, I won't be bothered because they never got the education. And I'm telling you my business because I don't want you to give up, right? So I think about how as early as 5 years old, no one sat me down to talk about this is what it looks like. This is healthy relationships and family. This is a healthy workplace environment. No, growing up and, navigating New Orleans was really difficult. And then having my mom came to this country, met my father, and that whole dynamic was something new and different, right? And so when we don't have education around that, one of the things that I did as a young girl, I filled in the blank. So I formulated my own thoughts about how love is supposed to look. How does a man and a wife get along and just like raise families? And there was no sit down and talk to me. I don't blame my family. Again, this is not about anyone but me. I'm sharing my business. I don't blame anyone for not sitting me down and having a conversation. Instead, my husband and I are very, 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 we are like intentional about sharing it with everyone else because we didn't have these moments, and especially within the Black community, it's still no excuse, right? So When Love Works is all about education. No one sat me down and said, Elitia, here's how it looks. So that's one of the reasons why I think I had that thought early on that I don't deserve love. No one talked about it. Secondly, there is a true statistic. You can look it up anywhere, but there is a true stat that says one in 5 young girls will experience some form of sexual trauma, some sort of sexual violence before they're 10 years old. And again, this conversation is going into me and unpacking mine. So I'm 1 in 5. So one of the things that I thought about when I had to do my unpacking of why I didn't think I deserved love was, having been exposed to sexual anything before 10 years old, you get those type of thoughts that you are damaged, right? Or you don't even have those type of thoughts before 10. So that's another reason I had that defeatist thought that I didn't deserve love. Another reason is I think about even outside my home, I had normalized what I saw a relationship should be. And I'm talking about from people in the neighborhood. I'm talking about going to work environments with my family. And I started working as early as 12. So I had been in work environments, but I normalized what I saw. And again, if you can relate, thumbs up here, because if you are around it, you think that's normal, right? So again, my household had some trauma and some dysfunctional relationships, so I normalized that. So one, I normalized how husband and wife interact. That was normal for me, and it was very dysfunctional. Two, again, working early, I was in workplaces and I saw how people in boss positions really treated employees like crap, just being very honest. Even early on, I recognized that I just have to do this thing and do what they say and don't question anything. So I had two horrible thoughts very early on, that an intimate relationship between partners can be dysfunctional and people just go with the flow. And then two, in the workplace, I saw very early on that we just go with the flow and don't have any questions about how we're treated and how we feel. So that's another thought that led to me not believing I deserve love. From those thoughts very early on, and I'm talking about 12 and below, from those thoughts, I filled in the blanks. So that for me was the foundation of how to date. I used the fill in the blank method, if you would. So, by the time I hit my teens, I'm thinking about a partner. I'm starting to like people. And unfortunately, when I didn't have the education, being abused, seeing things that were dysfunction and normalizing it, I filled in the blanks for what a relationship should look like. Therefore, my first boyfriend met that blank, right? But don't think it can't happen to you that easily. Because let me push it a little bit. When I had to do my unpacking, I think about how I even filled in the blanks for how a friend should look. Yeah. Unfortunately, we don't do a good job of, and no one did it with me, of sitting down and saying, this is what a friend looks like. These are some qualities. Here are some traits. Here are some questions you can ask. Here are some things you are free to talk about and finding a friend. But no, that was a second area where I filled in the blank. And thus, I did not feel I deserved love. It just was this go with the flow sort of mentality with me. And again, this is from, let's say, from 8 to 13. Was the norm for me, y'all. So I'm sharing all of my stuff. And that first big bucket is why I didn't think I deserved love. Didn't think I deserved it at all. And then after that, and this is where you could chime in if you've experienced this, if you've ever had the heartbreak experience where you are going together, liking other people, and because I'm just going with the flow and there's no conversation or there's no benchmark of what health looks like, I was really liking someone more than they liked me. And I think about how I feel like I'm loving you with all that I can. And unfortunately, he was like, or ain't love me like that. Not 100%. And for me, early on, that really taught me something else. That, again, I could tolerate someone not being 100% into me. So I learned that very early on. If you could relate to that heartbreak experience where you are with someone, but they're not 100% that into you like that. Y'all go together and y'all are dating or whatever, but in the back of your mind, it's really like 70-30, 20-80, whatever, fill in the numbers. Feel free to fill in the numbers. But that thought led me to very early on, I don't deserve love. Or this is the level of love. This is what it looks like. And so I'm just going on, right? And after that, I was a teenage mother. So me getting pregnant in my teens, that teenage pregnancy comes with a stigma, y'all. That stigma is a clear label on your head, on your neck, on your chest, wherever you want to think about, that's big and bold, that says you are damaged goods. So I did not think I deserved love because I was a teenage mother. When I tell you that was sort of ingrained in me for years, whew, it's no wonder the thought of not being deserving of love was an easy transition, right? It was perpetuated in the neighborhood. It was perpetuated at school. It was perpetuated at work. So no matter where I went, I really, really believed that I was damaged goods. And when you have that belief, and again, I'm speaking for me, this is my stuff. This is my why, y'all. I didn't think I deserved anything else. Literally everywhere I went, people already was like, there you go. You at a minus 80 basically for being a teenage mom. I think about how, and I'm not going to blame this on my city. I'm a proud New Orleanian. I think about how, unfortunately, I saw my partner killed and the trauma and the effects of that. When you see someone killed, something shifts in you, and your worthiness and your connection to love also shifts. You may not know it in that moment. And again, I won't downplay my city. I recognize, though, that growing up and being raised in New Orleans, a lot of that type of violence came with the city. But there's a whole nother level of seeing someone being killed that impacts how you go on from there when it comes to love. If you are dating your partner, if you are with this person living together, and in my case, we're living together. We had just bought a home together, y'all. We just knew we was going to be together. And then to see him get killed like that, it's like, okay, where do you go? What type of love do you get after that? So I have the damaged goods stigma, rewind, you get it. All of that's leading to this, and it's just piling on this mountain of you don't deserve love, Elitia. The effects of that even, and the child we had together, and how that looks and how that shapes how I even mother. It just is traumatic. So with that comes some friendships that are connected out of trauma. Remember at the top I talked about how no one really sits down and talk about how you have to be a friend to people or how your friends should be with you. And unfortunately, I had a lot of friendships that were connected out of trauma, or connected in my weakness, I should say. We were all just being, I think, according to a script, but I'm naming mine, right? I name mine as filling in the blanks. And because I was filling in the blanks and didn't have any education before, I also had a lot of friendships who were serving a purpose for me when I was down and out, or, when I was in my worst state, I would say. And I don't knock anyone, because everyone has had their role, right? I just want to name that for me and sharing my stuff with you, because I didn't feel I deserved love because the friends that I were connected to at that time were through trauma, were through the stigma, were through the the hierarchy of Elitia at the bottom, or she's damaged goods. So a lot of those friendships reinforced that I don't deserve love. I think about how I was easily put into survival mode so I'm not hurt again. And I'm gonna take a moment and own that. I wasn't put into survival mode. I'm gonna rephrase that. I took on a survival mode so I'm not hurt again, or even better, so I'm not hurt first. So guess what that does, y'all? Unfortunately, and I'm the first to admit it, I became toxic. I became the very thing that I'm protecting myself against. Whenever you go into survival mode or trying to ensure that you're not hurt again, you are simultaneously putting up layers of toxicity all around you. And my share today is all about the vulnerability, right? But I'm naming that I had put on this survivalistic robe from head to toe, just a full body armor of survival. But it led to me being the most toxic partner in a lot of cases, the most toxic mother in a lot of cases, the most toxic employee in a lot of cases. That's just not a healthy look. But I'm gonna name that. And again, if you could agree, your thumbs up, your comments, if you could agree. But that's where I was. And that survival mode, when you're in that mode, and I'm speaking for me, you're not thinking about love. It doesn't even cross your mind. So why are you even, it's not crossing your mind. You just out, nobody gonna hurt me again. This not gonna happen. I had normalized so much violence and dysfunction at home. Again, just to get through home life, it was normal to just see things, not say things. And there's an asterisk right there, y'all. Please say something. Do not hold hurt. It is not healthy for no part of our bodies. Our mental health, our physical health, it's not healthy at all. Unfortunately, at the time, I had normalized so much dysfunction and violence, and I was doing it at home and at work, being quiet. We have a 4A tool now that we use to help people not be quiet and sort of push through that dysfunction. So I want you to know that I had normalized that, unfortunately. Another part of my not deserving love was I think about how I was fighting my boyfriend at the time, and black eyes, bruised body. And I would snap into this delusional state and go to school. That was even in high school. I was literally in a domestic violence relationship and was going to school and focusing on school. That's how much I had normalized violence. It's such a dysfunctional state to be. And unfortunately, enough of that reinforced for me that I didn't deserve love. I don't know how many people were in high school snapping back from a fight and just bruises and all kind of stuff happening, and just rolling through high school and just slamming the exam and having great grades and even getting a scholarship to college. Like, that was my journey, right? I'm sharing that with you because I don't want you to give up on love. And these are just little bites of my journey. Because if I'm your biggest cheerleader for healthy relationship culture, if I am sharing these bites, then you could do this. I think about how my failed marriage comes with a stigma too. So not only the teen pregnancy, domestic violence, all that, sexual abuse, like all those are stigmas. I was married and divorced. That was a whole nother stigma that came with that. And I'm supposed to just sit up and have this confidence that I still deserve love after that too. Whew. You could imagine, after that little snippet I shared, yep, I was ready to snap. But instead of snapping, I thought about my precious children, my three, my ARC, Shantae, Rael, and Kelvin, my ARC, and I sought therapy. Now, therapy comes with a stigma in the Black community. But when I tell you I was not thinking about deserving love, I was just trying to think about how to stay out of jail. How to not kill someone for the anger that had boiled up in me, that was spilling over, for all the hurt I had endured, and how my wall of protection wasn't really working. I sought therapy. That comes with a stigma. And having gone to therapy, some people believe that, something's wrong with you, so love is not an option. But if I could push through it, you can too. So when I hear that question about people giving up on love, when you've been hurt before, I just recognize that that's coming from a deeper place, a place where really what you're saying is, I don't think I deserve love. And so I'm sharing because I want you to push through that thought. And I shared all the unpacking I did to get to that thought. I didn't say it was overnight, but it is so worth it. That's the first subconscious thing that's happening when you say you're ready to give up on love. And even if you're in a relationship right now and you're like, it's whatever. You may be in a relationship and just giving up in a way where it is, you're just going through the motions. That's still a form of giving up. Because if you aren't loving full out every day, you aren't loving. Love is a verb. It's very actionable. So even if you're in a relationship and you're just going through the motions, y'all racking up days and years and months, that's fine too. But I want you to name that. You have given up on love. Because the second main bucket, the second main reason that people give up on love or tolerate those blah, mediocre relationships is because they really believe that love is performance-based. I think it was our third episode of the podcast, the When Love Works podcast, we talk about that, because no one really wants a blah relationship. Everyone wants to be loved and have a full out love relationship. But we get to the point, and I've done it before. My first marriage is just, going through the motions, right? And so the second thought, if you really dig deep, when people say they're giving up on love or they're in a relationship and they just going through the motion, that really comes from a place of believing that love is performance-based. And so I'm going to push back, because love just is. If your love is performance-based, then you literally have the conditions on it. We just unpacked this in episode 3 of the podcast, where we're talking about, you really get to the place, and I'll again talk about me personally. If I do blank, then I deserve love. So after I had done my therapy, gone through all of my unpacking, I'm not necessarily saying I'm ready for love. But if I don't shift the belief that love is not performance-based, then I'm not going to have healthy love anyway. So if you could agree with that, chime, you look, it struck a chord. Share your thoughts, because if you think that you have to do anything to deserve love, I'm going to need you to push that thought, redirect that thought. That is absolutely not the truth. Love is not performance-based. I thought about, if I am this ideal wife, then I'll be loved. Nope. My first marriage was filled with emotional abuse, financial abuse. And again, I'm coming out of already having physical abuse in past relationships and psychological abuse in past relationships with friends and family. And I go right into this marriage where it is a ton of emotional abuse and financial abuse. And I thought, if I performed as this wife and mother, then I was worthy of a level of love that I could thrive in. And that's not the case, y'all, at all. Love is not performance-based. If you find yourself in a relationship right now and you are, if you have these conditions, if you know that when you do this, your partner lights up, or I used to do that too. Like, if dinner's already done, the children's homework's already done, then we can have our quality time. That was one of the conditions that I really had in my first marriage, like really trying to have all this quality time. And no, it was all performance based. I really had to do the work there because I didn't want to first of all, I knew I was getting out that marriage quick. Look, that marriage didn't last. Well, on paper, it lasted a long time, but I had done checked out and was looking for my divorce and my exit quickly, because I don't know about you, but I can't keep up a lie. I can't perform. I'm not an actress. So me doing all these things to get the love of my husband was faulty. I recognize, okay, I'm leaving out of this because I want for 3 main things. 1, I want to be able to show up as me, and that be enough for my partner. 2, I don't look like what I went through. So I don't want anyone to put me through anything else. I already been through some stuff at this point. And I know going forward with the rest of my life, I'm not tolerating nothing else. So I knew for me, number 2, I'm not about to do no performance. So it snapped in me that I had to listen. No performing. You already done been through enough. No. And 3, I actually deserve love. not performance-based love. I'm talking about love at its core. So when I hear people say, and again, I've been hearing this question for about 20 years, and I'm sharing my vulnerability, my isness, my why, because I want to cheerlead you, be your biggest push through. You don't have to give up on love. The second reason that people give up on love or in a relationship where they're just being blah is because they feel like love is performance-based. And so you heard a little bit of my story, and I know that none of those were healthy reasons, but those are the two things that are operating subconsciously if you really want to do the work and dig deep. That performance base is not healthy, y'all. That first one, everyone, is none of them are healthy. I share the two big buckets because I recognize those are so important to just being open to love. No such thing as giving up on it. I mean, it takes more work to give up on love. It takes more work to be in a relationship where y'all just going through the motions than it does to do the work. And so when I say I'm your biggest healthy relationship culture cheerleader, I am truly speaking from a space of experience. I literally do the work. My husband and I do When Love Works because it literally saved our love. When Love Works saved my life. It definitely is going to take work though. Love is the second part. One of the things I hear too that comes with that question is why does it take all that for the relationship to work? So before I get on my soapbox talking about When Love Works and all it has done, people tell us no a lot. Whenever we share what we do, or when people share a challenge with us and we say, well, we actually have an answer for that. And they say, well, why take all that for a relationship to work? And when I tell you, we hear a lot of no's. We hear a lot of no's from people who don't want to do the work. And I know it's because they believe it doesn't take work for a relationship to work. And so I challenge you because it will take work for a relationship to work, especially if you want it to be healthy. And you can listen to everything I just shared about how unhealthiness is the basic, is the norm, right? So it's going to take work for it to be healthy because relationships are not automatic. So my first response to people, I don't say this, and Colin and I never push people to work with us. Side note, if you ever wanted to work with us, now is a great time because we have a 50% off Black Friday sale through Cyber Monday to get into any of our toolbox series if you're interested in doing this work. But recognize too, we're not going to push you because we know that healthy relationships are not automatic. We recognize that if I had to do this work, everybody had to do the work. I am not on the side of any woman. Cullen's not on the side of any man. We are on the side of healthy relationships because, like I shared earlier, I had become so toxic that when I was dating Cullen, he had to name, hold on, you are not a healthy partner. This is not going to work for me. Like, I would have never called myself a toxic partner. But I recognized from everything I shared earlier, of course I was becoming toxic. Look at everything I had experienced, right? And I didn't do the work. So when we share with people that we have answers for their challenges, and they say, no, it don't take all that for a relationship, we be like, listen, okay, but please know relationships are not automatic. Don't be lazy. You know why you can't be lazy? Because it's two different people from two different households coming together to work together. How is that supposed to be automatic? I don't care if you grew up on the same block. I don't care if you were next door neighbors. Even if you're working with someone, you have to put in work for two people from two different households to work together. So don't be lazy. Relationships take work. People say it all the time. Oh no, relationships shouldn't take all that. It should just be easy. It should be automatic. No, love is an actual verb. It requires work. Like, you know how you learned in elementary school, a verb. It's an action word. It is doing something. No matter what career, job field you're in, you are a person going to another person that's going to have to learn how to coordinate for you all to be able to see what that relationship is going to look like for both of you to thrive. That's why we're not on any one side when we do this work. We're on the side of healthy relationships, right down the middle, because it's two people doing the work. Think about family members. Y'all just spent time with family members, and no matter how long you've been knowing someone, it could be a first cousin, it could be a sibling. It's still two people that have to do work to coordinate what that relationship is going to look like for both people to thrive. So don't be lazy. Don't be lazy. I talk about the friendships that I had earlier that were really just connected through trauma. You know what? You still have to do some work. Those are two people from two different backgrounds. I can't stress this enough. Who need to coordinate. And we don't use the word compromise in our work. We like the word coordinate. Just so that both people could do the work, so both people could thrive. Compromise sometimes has that tone of one person's losing. So we're very intentional about language too. But when I hear people say, don't take all that, it should be easy, or it doesn't have to be hard, but it's not supposed to be automatic either. That's just someone saying, I'm lazy. I really don't want to do any work. And you hearing my story, and if you haven't shared this video, go back and listen to this video, and you just gonna hear snippets of my story and why I don't even give up on love. You have to be willing to do the work. Well, you know what? Let me stop. Y'all know I tell the truth, right? You don't have to do anything. You do not have to do the work. You could literally, for the rest of your life, say it don't take all that. You could literally, for the rest of your life, say, nope, it's supposed to be like this. And you could literally go from partner to partner, employment to employment, family member to family member for the rest of your life. And you do not have to do a thing different. That is the absolute truth. But if you want to do something different, then love requires work. It's a verb. So you have to take action. And if I can do it with all of my stuff and all of my thoughts about not deserving love and love having to be performance-based, then you could do it too. That's why I'm your biggest cheerleader. That's why Cullen's your biggest cheerleader. We always support people who want to do the work, who are not lazy, who are not ready for it to just come to them. We've had people tell us, oh no, you just go get the partner. Go find me a match. And we look like it's not healthy for you to want to put your work on someone else. We understand, but it's not healthy. We want you to do your work. Because guess what? It's great rewards on the other side of the work. I am here. I'm a living witness of the rewards on the other side. If you want your relationship to work, you have to do the work. Love doesn't work unless you do. It's a verb. I didn't make the rules. If you don't like it, take it out with someone else. But I don't want it to be hard work. And I'll forever plug When Love Works because it doesn't have to be hard, especially when you have the right tools. But I'm not going to lie to you and say it's not work. You know why I'm not going to lie? I'm sharing this live because even when I thought I wanted to give up on love, and even when I thought, okay, I don't deserve it, or I have to perform for it, I recognize that I just didn't have the tools. I recognize that, Elitia, you have become so toxic that you are not healthy at home, at work, as a mother, as a friend. Like, you're just not healthy. So the reason I say it takes work is I had to be re-educated. So When Love Works is always a platform for re-education. Who else is teaching this? Like, explicitly teaching with real world practice, and you bringing your stuff. I had to do it. I still do it. Colin still does this work. I literally had to relearn some new habits. Like, there were some habits that I have, y'all, that are very toxic, very dysfunctional. And if you know any part of our story, Colin will be the first one to share. Listen, when we was first dating, that's where the whole dating toolbox came out. When we were dating, it was a mess. Because when I met him, I was like, listen, I've been married before. What you talking about? He was like, yeah, I was actually married before too. But this is not, it was just hilarious. So the dating toolbox is literally our journey, our challenges. But you don't have to go through them. So a part of the work is re-education. Second part of the work is learning new habits. After that is some practices you're going to have to reset. There are some things that we do in singleness that will not work in partnership. There are some things when we do at home that will not work in our workplaces. There are some things that we do with family members that will not work in our friendships. So there are so many new practices you have to be willing to learn. And I have to stop saying you have to, because you ain't got to do nothing. But There are so many new practices that you can reset and learn. Reset, I should say, because love takes work. It's not going to be automatic. You're not going to automatically be educated. You're not going to automatically get a habit, and you're not going to automatically have new practices. That's why love takes work. So when people say don't take all that, the relationship don't, yes, it does, for those 3 reasons. And these are factual. I can't make this up. There's no such thing, as an automatic education on learning how to drive. That's not a thing. So if education to learn how to drive a car isn't automatic, why do you believe education on having healthy relationships is going to be automatic? If getting a new habit in order to change a lifestyle for either health reasons, dietary reasons, whatever reasons requires you to develop a habit, then why do you think having a healthy relationship won't require the same? A habit is a habit. And so that's why all the work we do spans across 4 weeks. We believe in okay, probably about a month you'll get this habit. And then finally, love is work because of the practices. We have to reset practices. I had to reset so many practices in my life because I had normalized so much toxicity, so much dysfunction, so much violence that it just wasn't healthy. So if my everyday practice was unhealthy, I have to reset my practices to now be healthy and thrive. And I think I'm so grateful. And the reason I'm sharing this again is because of the moment of gratitude that I know that the whole world is in right now. But I want to key in on, I'm grateful that I don't look like what I've been through, that I am ongoing and ever evolving to be educated, get the education, get the habits, get the practices in place, because I don't want to give up on love. I'm always cheering for you not to give up on love. And yes, relationships will take work. And the silver lining and the unicorns and confetti at the end of all of it is, but when you put in the work, you get great rewards. When you do this work, when you do the work, when love works, when love works, you have great rewards. So I want to encourage you, don't give up on love. Yes, put in the work, because healthy love takes you to depths you didn't even know existed. I could talk about my intimate relationship all day long, but even professionally, healthy love in workplace environments take you to depths you never know existed. You're able to walk into rooms and people, listen. They lean in to listen. You're able to have human conversations with your employees, with your clients, and those of us who are self-employed with our clients, like having human conversations. That only happens when you are fully standing in who you are and you show up as love. There's so many rewards. Depths you never know existed. Bottom line, y'all, don't give up on love. Put in the work. Yes, a relationship takes work. Don't give up on love. I'm your biggest cheerleader. Because when you put in the work, love is reflective, it is transformative, and it is home. You literally feel like you are secure and safe when you do the work. I'm cheering for y'all. And if you're ready to do the work with Cullen and I, we are ready to have you. This is a great opportunity to check out any of our toolbox series. Her toolbox is for women who are showing up and doing the work in every area of her life. It comes with a workbook, unlimited practice. We have his toolbox for men who are doing the same thing, showing up in every area of his life and just making sure that he is of love and leading, right? Because men are natural leaders. And we have the dating toolbox, which was our number one toolbox series because it saves so much time, money, and energy on the dating process. We literally don't want people struggling in dating. We don't want people wasting time with the wrong person. Cullen was single for years, and as a single man with no children, his family members were like, what's going on? So the dating toolbox is really one of his favorites because it really helps you save time, save energy, save those years that you're not going to get back from dating the wrong person, right? Or being with them forever. And then finally, we have the couples toolbox for anyone who is already in a relationship, anyone who is engaged, anyone who is, with a partner and they're at a place where maybe the relationship is blah and you want to push it to that powerful stage where both people are thriving. People who are in a relationship, they've just been together, just racking up some years. People that are engaged and want to share certificate of completion with their officiant. We offer all of that in Couples Toolbox. We invite you to enjoy love. Don't give up on love. Put in the work, because love has great rewards. You can actually thrive at home, at work, with your family, and with your friends. So I'm inviting you to do this work because I'm your biggest cheerleader. If you have any doubts, anything you want to give up on love, just go back and listen to this video again. I shared all of my why and my story, because if I could do it, you could do it too. I love y'all to life. I enjoy y'all so much on this journey. Share your questions, share your thoughts. If you have any, I'm listening.